My name is Shyla Massey. I am I'm the owner of Glistening July. We specialize in all things hospitality. And so what you saw on the thing is travel along. Look, I don't know what you saw, but make sure you subscribe, you comment, you like this video, because I gotta go. And so you may not see me towards the end of this video, only because I have some things I have to do. And one of them is go to the movies because I do want to go to the movies today. But don't travel with anybody that's not a traveler. Let's just knock this right out the park. Okay? Because what ends up happening is you end up like resenting yourself or resenting the person that you're traveling with because they don't move like you move. So if you travel all the time, don't put yourself in a situation where you're traveling with somebody who don't travel because they're not going to want to do the same things. So now you sitting around, laying around in a hotel room instead of being at the beach because this person don't want to do nothing because they normally don't do nothing. When you travel with somebody, either go by yourself or go with somebody else. You cannot be afraid to travel. You cannot be afraid to do something by yourself. I know people like to do things with others. I know people like to go in groups, but you cannot, oh man, you cannot be afraid to go and do the things that you like to do or be like, oh, I can't do it because I don't have nobody to do it with me. If you waiting on somebody to do something with you, you ain't gonna never do nothing. You ain't gonna never do nothing. You ain't gonna never see anything. And that's me telling you the truth. The truth that you do not want to hear. You have to not be afraid to go and see the world. You'll be okay. Tell people where you're going so they know, they have an idea. Okay, they see that you're going to share your location. Now you can share your location with people. It's only a couple of places, which typically are like in the middle of nowhere where you can't get no signal. Even in the United States, I would say the whole state of Wyoming, you definitely are not gonna get any signal. But you can't be afraid to go because don't nobody else want to go with you. If you can get stuck and lost in the United States, you can get stuck and lost in other countries too. You gotta go. You gotta see the world. You may meet people on your way there that'll be like, hey, I'll go with you just by telling them. Now, you gotta have some common sense about the people that you meet when you get there and make sure they not crazy, right? And you have to be a filler of people to be able to do that. But most of the time, people who can solo travel, they know how to read people real quick. And if somebody starts acting like they weird or crazy, then they be like, okay, I'm good. All right, now, me and this person have never met in person. They are in Costa Rica right now with somebody who does not travel. This person only leaves if the traveler says, hey, do you want to go? And they say, yeah, sure, no problem. So they're in Costa Rica and the person don't want to do nothing but sit at the pool. Baby, I ain't counting on another country to sit at the pool all day. And we ain't even at the what is it? We're not at the ocean or the Caribbean Sea. We just at the pool. Oh no, baby. I ain't came to this country for that. I came to see the culture, to go hiking, to go look at some go swim in the lake, the blue lake, you know, look at the blue waters. I think is what is it, Baja del Toro. I may have said it wrong. I want to go to La Fortuna. Look, I'm a person of color. I want to go see the people who look like me in their area. I try to do that as free every time I go on a trip. I like to go where the Afro, wherever your culture is, because I was traveling and I kept saying like, well, how did certain slaves in America
But then the other ones who jumped the ship, or the other ones who got off when they ported, well, where did they end up at? Right? Like all of these countries can't be so whitewashed that there is nobody of a different color that's on these countries and they by the sun. Like, it's just not possible. So I make it a point that I go learn about the Afro part of whatever country I'm in. Like, where are these people at? Where do they stay at? Like, how did you get here? I want to know that part because it resembles who I am. But go and see the world. So she's there on a hike. How you make somebody go on a hike? Like, you should want to go on a hike. Girl, bring your hiking shoes. If you don't have no shoes, go buy some while you there. Buy you some new shoes. Wear them shit things out while you hiking, and then throw them away. Because typically, the older you get, the more support you need. Because you've probably been wearing Nikes all your life, which is non-supportive shoes. So now your feet all the way shot. And so go and see the solo traveler. You can put the locks on your door so can't nobody get into your room at night. You can go get them extra locks, which I've never purchased, because every place I lay my head at, I know that I'm safe. Like, there's a certain type of place that I stay at. But even if it wasn't a certain type of place that I stay at, guess what? Everybody gonna know where I'm at. Even the federal government is going to know where I'm at. I am going to fill out my step before I leave. That's the Smart Traveler program, or I can't remember what the E stand for, but it's called STEP. It's through the Department of State. You go on the State Department's website. You tell them on the STEP program where you're going, where you're staying. If something happens in that country, they have an idea. If your parent or the person who loves you can't find you, they can call the embassy and they can tell them, hey, my blah 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 said that they were staying here and they filled out a step. I tried to call them, I ain't reached them. Can somebody go find them? Because I think something wrong. Because if you don't tell nobody where you going, it's going to be an issue. Right? Because you in a different country now. And when you go to another country, if you don't do it in America, don't do it when you go to that country. Do not do it when you go to that country. If you don't do the activity in America, don't do the activity when you go to that other country. It's just that simple. I mean, it's really that simple. If you don't do the activity in America, don't do the activity when you go to the other country. But it's okay to travel by yourself. But remember, if you pick somebody to travel with and they're not a traveler, they're gonna put limits on everything that you want to do. I used to travel with somebody, and I would be wanting to jump off cliffs, go go on the arts ATV, go jet skiing, and they'd be like, "Oh, I don't want to do that. If something happened to you, how I'm gonna reach your parents?" And then look, I don't want to worry about that. I'm on vacation. I wanna enjoy myself. I believe in Jesus Christ. I've always believed in Him. And one thing I know for sure is that I am not in my last breath, and I am not gonna die unless God has marked it in the plans for my life. But I know I haven't done a lot of things that God has told me that I'm gonna accomplish, and as a result, I am not about to die. I'm just not about to die. I ain't nothing about to happen to me. I don't even declare that. The fact that I even landed in this country is proof that I ain't about to die. Because the whole part of being on a plane is just so contrary to physics, right? What go up must come down. And in a plane, you only come down at the pilot tell you coming down. So for me, this whole experience of traveling with people who don't travel, you just have to pick your foes. Is that how you want to spend the rest of your life? So now you got to go back to the country again because you didn't get to see X, Y, and Z. You only got to see this part. Or do you want to do everything that you need to do so you never have to come back to this country? So you can say, no, I did a lot in this country. This is why I like it. This is why I do not like it. Because the only country that I really want to go back to, that I could really make a yearly trip to, is Honduras. I loved my hotel that I stayed at. Honduras, you know where else I like to? and I may not mess up the name, but you gotta forgive me. Antigua Antigua is one of those. Oh, somebody said something. Hold on, I'm driving. Hey sis, you're looking gorgeous. You introduce yourself in your new channel. Oh, okay. My name is Shyla Massey. I am the owner of Listening to Lie, where we specialize in all things hospitality and tourism. We specialize in food and beverage, accommodations, transportation, cruises, recreation, anything related to hospitality and tourism, we specialize in it. Event planning. And so every video that you see on this channel was personally taken by me. I've been to every place that you've seen on this channel. I've been to 39 out of the 50 states. I have 11 more states to go to. Those states are New Mexico, Oklahoma, Washington, Oregon, Hawaii, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine. Did I say North Dakota? And I can never get the last. Like normally I'm stuck at 1 or 2, but all other states, Idaho, and now it's one more state, and I can't think of the name of that state. But every other state I've been to, and when I say I've been to that state, I've actually either driven to the state, or I've driven through the state, or I've flown into the state, rented a car, and driven around the state multiple times. So I think our country is beautiful. There is something in the United States for a discerning traveler. Even if you're a non-discerning traveler, there's something in the United States for everybody. As I've gotten older, especially when COVID hit, I like going to national parks. So I've been to Bryce, I've been to Zion, I've been to, is it Glacier Bay? It's the one in Alaska that you can only get to on a cruise ship. I've been to Glacier Bay. I've been to Cuyahoga Valley National Park. I've been to Shenandoah in Virginia National Park. So one of the things that I try to do is go to one national park a year. Last year, we went to the Everglades. I think we went to the Everglades. We went to a national park last year, but I can't remember. I think it was the year before we went to the Everglades. So we do. So make sure you subscribe, you like, you comment. I've been traveling as a solo traveler since I was an unaccompanied minor. So unaccompanied minor means that your parents put you on a plane, they pay extra for you to get from point A to point B. Typically, my point A was from the East Coast to the West Coast, or from somewhere, either Michigan or Ohio to North Carolina. That was how I was an unaccompanied minor. So I've been on a red-eye flight. I don't even think they do red eyes. Well, actually they do because I'm getting on one in a couple of weeks. But I've done red-eye flights where I was able to lay on the whole seat and go to sleep because it wasn't popular to do the red eye when I was coming up, and a lot of people didn't do them. But yeah, being a solo traveler, make sure is where it's at versus traveling with somebody who don't want to travel. Like they don't want to see the world. They good and just they got to the country and they at the hotel and they stay at the pool at the hotel. That to me, that's not okay. That's just not okay. If you're afraid, there's nothing to be afraid of. You know, if you are afraid to solo travel, that's probably because you're not a good planner, or you don't have confidence, or you don't make the best decisions when it comes to it's a split second. What am I supposed to do right now? And that's okay. You know, you can find somebody. They have travel groups where you can travel with other people who are afraid as well to travel by themselves. So all of you have the same group experience. But because I've been doing it for so long, I typically have experiences that other people are not willing to have because I'm willing to take a chance that other people are not willing to have. So you need to keep that in the back of your mind. Most group trips, they have to accommodate the whole group. And so a lot of remote places, there's no way that they can get the whole group there at one time. So you're never going to have that experience when you're with a group. But when you take it upon yourself to go solo travel, you typically will have that one-on-one experience, the experience where, it's like, well, how did you get to do that? Like, who told you about that? Where did you learn about that? So I do not, just remember, don't travel with somebody who don't like to travel, who don't like the same things that you like. And it's okay to ask people before you leave. Like, I am the type of person, when I travel, my schedule is jam-packed. I am not skinny. So if I miss a meal, I am not going to die. But I've learned that when I travel with skinny people, they be wanting to eat all day. I be like, we don't have enough time to eat. How we going to eat? Like, how we going to see this if we sit down eating and it takes us an hour to 2 hours to eat? So I know that when I travel with somebody skinny, I got time for them to eat. Like, if we don't eat, they upset. Like, oh, I ain't going with you no more because we didn't eat. Look, we can walk and eat. We can find a little stand on the corner on the street that looks clean, that has a long line, and we can eat there and have a really great experience versus sitting down in a restaurant and eating some commercialized food. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. This is Glistening July. We specialize in all things hospitality. The topic today that I'm talking about is don't travel with somebody who do not travel. All travel people are not good travel. Every person is not a good travel companion. Again, every person is not a good travel companion. Don't be afraid to step out on your own. Just don't. Again, when you step out on your own, you're going to see something that nobody else is able to see, or only a handful of people are able to see. I just was on a trip that I went by myself. It was out of the country. I was gone for business for 5 days, I think, or 7 days. I had to figure this out on my own, but I have experience of figuring it out on my own. I tried to change my currency. I tried to change the US dollar for their currency, and my bank was like, oh, we don't do that currency. What? You don't do this currency? How am I supposed to get money then? So I had to take American cash with me and know that I had to change some of the cash when I got to the country. Because when you go to country, a lot of countries, sometimes they don't take credit cards. Sometimes they won't take the US dollar. They definitely not gonna give you back the right rate of exchange. So it's always better to go to the bank before you leave and ask your bank if they have the currency. And if they have the currency, get the currency from them. Typically, the bank will give you, they'll say 2 business days, but typically your currency will come the next business day within 24 hours, based on my experience. But again, if this is your first time going to the bank asking for currency, it takes them 2 business days to get your currency. And when you go and you travel, don't have your money just out. Put your money up. Shoot, put your money in your dirty drawers. Because anybody that's willing to get your money and touch your dirty drawers, then they deserve to have every last dime you got. You that nasty and you that desperate that you need some money, go ahead and have it. I can tell somebody to send me some more money. I got some money on the card, and I can go to the bank, and I can swipe my card inside of the bank, and I can get some more money. But make sure you register for the STEP program. STEP is through the State Department. It can be done online. Make sure you know where the embassy is in the country that you're going to. What city is the embassy in that you're going to? If you're afraid to travel, this should be your travel list. Register for the STEP program. Make sure I know where the embassy is for that country. How far am I from the embassy? Is another question you need to ask yourself. Because if you far from the embassy, you're not going to the embassy because you was afraid to even get to the country. So you definitely make sure you let people know that you have registered with STEP. Give them your address, your phone, the hotel you staying at. My mom, I am a grown woman. My mom gets upset if I don't tell her what hotel I'm staying in. Mom, I'm fine. And anyway, you can't come get me if something happen. Anyway, you ain't even in a position to come get me. So at this stage, You gotta let me go. I'm good and grown. Not young and grown, good and grown. So you gotta let me go. Make sure you know where the embassy is. Make sure you change your currency before you leave with your bank. Get your currency. At least order your currency at least 3 days before your flight take off. Why? Because the second day, the day before your flight, you should be going to the bank to pick up your money. You do not want to change your currency at the airport if you do not have to. You want to research where is the cheapest place for me to exchange my currency in this city, whatever is the city you going to. And I'm gonna tell you this: typically, where the locals go to exchange their currency, that's where the cheapest place is. I was in Tulum. I never forget this, and it was a whole bunch of Mexicans in this place. And I asked the guy, I said, "What is this?" He said, "This is the best place to get your currency exchange, the dollar exchange for the peso in Tulum." I said, "For real?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "That's why you see all the locals there. But if you don't travel and you stay where all the tourists stay, you wouldn't have known that. That's information you get from being a traveler." Did my children like it when we was in Tulum and I made them walk all over the place? Oh no, they hated it. They thought life was over. They didn't like it, but they enjoyed eating the food because their mom picked a great place. They were, just to enjoy and have a good experience. When we went down to the tourist area, man, we got ripped off. I know we got ripped off. We spent a whole day at some old tourist trap in the hotel zone, which I would never recommend, but I did that for my kids to be comfortable. They did not like riding the taxi, even though I recommend that to anybody going to Mexico. I even recommend, just finding out how to get around in the city. So using the internet and seeing how others get around in cities. Like, do they have anything similar to Lyft and Uber if you're in the United States and that's what you're accustomed to? What is their local Lyft or Uber in the XYZ country you're visiting? That's something you need to know before you leave and before you go. You have to educate. If you going on a trip, you got to tell the person what you into, what you want to do while you there, so that they into and they down for doing the same things that you want to do. You don't want somebody going on a trip with you and they talking about something, "Oh, I don't want to do that. Oh, I can't. I didn't pack for this. I didn't do this. Can we just go eat?" Girl, I can eat at home. Like, I can eat at home. It is hot. Like, I want to go on this one trip, and the lady already told me it's gonna be like 120 degrees every day. I'm like, 120 degrees? I may die. No. I'm like, all this fat on me should be all the way off by the time I come back home. But I know I'm not gonna do a lot of eating. I know I'm gonna do a lot of drinking of water. I know that I'm gonna have to buy clothing there, or maybe get clothing made, because I need breathable clothing that's gonna breathe while I'm in this country. So again, my name is Shyla Massey. This is Glistening July. We specialize in all things hospitality and tourism, food and beverage, accommodations, transportation, cruises, recreation, event planning. That is what we specialize in. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like. You cannot see me because I am driving, but I told myself that I was going live, and I'm going live. Because if I don't go live now, when I get done with all my activities today, I am not going live. I can honestly tell myself that. But make sure you subscribe to the channel. Every video that you see on this channel was personally taken by me. It is not somebody else's video. It is not AI. I don't even know how to operate AI. I don't even use AI. But it's taken by me. I've been to a lot of places. I've been to 39 of the 50 states. If I never see all of Europe, the one place I would definitely like to see all of is the continent of Africa. That is like one of the things. Before I take my last breath, I want to be able to see all of the continent of Africa. I want to go to every country. I may not be able to go to every place in that country, but I at least want to see every country. I want to know that I've gone, I've visited, that I've spent time there. And I know that I'm probably going to go there by myself. The only reason why I'm going to go by myself is because the same reason it was when I went to Senegal and nobody wanted to go with me. Everybody questioned, you want to go to Africa? And that was in 1999. You want to go to Africa? So that's when it wasn't even popular to go. Why you want to go there? What you want to do there? Why you going? Are you sure you're going to be safe? Like, I'm here today and I'm safe. Like, nothing happened. I actually did one of the dumbest things I ever was doing. I'm not even going to tell you what I did. But it was dumb. And actually, I will tell you. I got in the car with a stranger and went to Gambia. So I drove from Dakar, Senegal to Gambia, to Alex and Amy's house, a stranger that I did not know. And I'm here today. Would I recommend that for my children? No, I would not. There were a lot of factors that went into place that allowed me to get in that car with that stranger. One of the factors was he told me his best friend who was driving us was a driver for this really big artist in Senegal. And because he was a really big artist driver, he had to do business for him in Gambia. I knew that I was going to be safe because I figured no artist in no country want somebody in their vehicle that's an American citizen to come up dead. And because I knew that in my mind, and I knew the car was nice, and I knew that the guy who was his friend, he did tours for Americans in Senegal, I knew that I was going to be okay because I put two and two together. This is 1999. And I'm here today because I did put two together and it worked out in my favor. But do I recommend today's generation to do something like that? No, they don't have no common sense. They have no thing within their head, within their heart, with their gut that say, hey, I shouldn't do this. Let me turn around. It like none of that clicks off. So I don't recommend that for anybody that is not an avid traveler who has no common sense. I just don't recommend it. But make sure you subscribe to this channel. If you have any questions on anything that I've said, please leave a comment. I respond to all comments. I look at the comments. If I don't respond right away, give me time to process what I said, and I will I will respond to your comment because I don't want you to go out here and be traveling and doing things and you unsure yourself. I need you to be sure of yourself. I need you to do enough research where you're confident in every move that you make when you're traveling, that you're safe and that you're good. But even if you don't go out of the country, traveling within the United States, we have a beautiful country. Coronado used to have gold sand. And the last two times I've been to Coronado, the sand has not been gold. But the very first time I went to Coronado, the sand was gold. And I took a picture of it. I didn't even know we had gold sand in the United States. I was there at the time I was a teacher. And so my students had won first place in the state of Ohio and they were able to compete in San Diego. And I set up a meeting with the human resource director for them to talk about Coronado because Hotel del Coronado is the oldest wooden hotel in California. I think it's the second oldest wooden hotel in the United States. And to just have that experience, I knew it would be important. Over the years, it was actually highly rated when we went, but over the years the service has dropped. It is not the same, but it's still one of those experiences that you would want someone to have that most people don't have. And when we went, the sand was gold, and we were all mesmerized. And so I would recommend Coronado. I would recommend Zion. Going and just hiking up the mountains in Utah, or going to Bryce to see the hoodoos. There's the largest formation of hoodoos in North America, right there. That's something I would recommend to somebody. Going and driving through Wyoming and seeing the colors change in like the earth, like it looks like sand or like a hill or a mountain with no grass, but it's just beautiful, beautiful. Or going to Iowa and seeing that, oh, this is really the Midwest. It's flat out here. right? Those are all things you can do by yourself. Learning what states have good rest stops and which ones don't. Like Ohio has excellent rest stops. They just upgraded the rest stops, and they made them more interactive, talking more about the history of the state. But Texas, I wouldn't tell you to do a road trip through Texas if your life depended on it. We drove from Ohio to Texas. Oh my goodness. That rest stop was nasty. I mean, completely nasty. So just, I don't have nothing else to say. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you comment, you like. And thank you for coming in. I am about to leave. I appreciate all of y'all. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Wait, here, so you can see me. See? This is me. I finally stopped driving. But make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thank you for listening to my story. Make sure you subscribe, and thank you. I pray that wherever you go, that the angel of the Lord will go before you, that they will bring you safely to your destination and bring you back home safely. That no hurt, harm, or danger will be upon your life as you travel and you explore, as you meet new people, as you develop new friendships. That the love for travel will improve who you are as an individual. That you won't think of it as a luxury, you'll think of it as a necessity. Because it opens the doors to your mind, opens the doors to your heart, it opens the doors to who you are destined to be, because you're able to see life from a different perspective. That you obtain cultural competencies. So, and what that means is you're able to get along with all people because of your personal experiences. So thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And you have a great day. All right.